Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Dark Roast with Kai Dorsey. I am your host, Kai Dorsey, and today I'm going to be speaking on something that's probably sensitive to everybody because everybody's sensitive nowadays. But because of the recent events of, black people, quote unquote, and cops, and the whole Blue Lives Matter thing, I'm not going to say the other organization because I've given them too much light in my recent post. But I want to say that I've been questioning a lot of people's logic behind things. Before this whole cops were getting hunted down and people were choosing a side, I remember a lot of you guys saying, fuck the police. Like a lot. I think like I've been like one of the only people I've ever met, you know what I mean? And it's not to toot my own fucking horn, but I'm not a hypocrite. But I don't think I've ever really like said fuck the police. Or in a manner of seriousness like you guys do, like in jest of, making fun of somebody else when I myself know that if it wasn't for the police, who the fuck are you going to call when you're getting robbed, shot at, or you fear for your life, unless you have the hood mentality of no snitching, which that's an animal, an animal for another day. But I want to get to the point of today's topic. How do you expect people you call minorities, for one, whether they're black, Hispanic, Asian, to respect the police, which has usually been seen or depicted as a white predominant organization and institution? And even though we do now have more people of color integrated, or even when it comes to females, because you think it's the white dominance was more of a male thing too as well. So let's put that out there as well. Now, how do we expect these people who have never been seen as equals, and when there's someone of their own color or creed there, they consider them a traitor because all they've been taught and all they've been brainwashed to think is that they are lower and inferior? Now, we live in a society where, I just saw this on a video. This college professor was speaking to a liberal student, and he was saying the whole thought process of the have and the have-nots, like which worked in oppressing people of class, in the past, in the olden times, that's not working anymore. So they had to take the oppressed and the oppressors. Now, you don't understand what that means. Instead of having you, which you probably already do, feel less about not having money or not being rich, which that plays into everything, but they also not only make you feel some self-guilt from not being good enough to be rich or not be lucky enough. You think it's a thing of luck, but for you to be in a lower class system, for you to be a tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 citizen. Now, I feel like I'm obligated, not morally or anything, just obligated as a human being to let people know that that's fucking retarded, that we are able to grow up all this time and never open our eyes and see that there's a trick. The trick being played is they want us to feel separated, segregated, some type of division. And it doesn't matter anymore what skin color you are. But when the only thing that is brought to your attention and is supposed to be on your mind, that thing that's supposed to be your subconscious thought at all moments is, am I going to be treated different because I'm black? Am I going to be treated different because I'm white? Am I going to be treated different because I'm Hispanic, because I'm in this location, because there's a new majority and a new minority? Say that I'm a white kid from a suburban area who moves to, say, Compton or San Bernardino, and then the blacks and Hispanics beat my ass. Is it wrong for me to not feel racially oppressed because I'm now the minority? Because now they get to do to me what people have been doing to them all their life? Like, how do we expect people to further themselves? Like honestly, like how do we expect people to grow, to actually gain acceptance? How do we expect people to accept us when we don't ever really expect them? If we're so cued in on being brainwashed. We're so cued in on being the ones who have to fight back because the man's got us. No, the man does not fucking have you. The man's just putting a fucking mirage in front of you and making you think it's real. But because you're so stupid, because you're so small-minded, because you're so diluted with your own selfish need to feel important because you think you're either too inferior or you have to feel so proud because somebody tells you your worth is based on the color of your skin, you set yourself up for failure. We can't expect right now people to just get along with police officers because of what's going on. We have outliers who are making it happen and showing that we can have some bond and some type of, cohesiveness with the police officers who are there to protect us. Makes no fucking sense why we don't trust them. Makes no sense how the hero keeps turning into the villain. And I don't, not to quote The Dark Knight, but I don't think you start off as a hero and you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. I believe society has forced us to think that no one can ever be truly good. All they've done is set up people to become these highly respectable, highly influenceable people, and then sometime in their life they bring them down, they destroy them. They make you hate them. They make you go, oh man, there's no way I could do it. There's no way I could be all good because that guy who was my hero was even a villain. Like, no. We don't realize the tricks we're falling for every day, day in, day out. It's a repetitive cycle. Who are you going to call when your daughter is molested? Who are you going to call when those robbers are breaking into your house? Who's going to bring you the justice you need? Because if you think about it, you don't even have that right. Well, you do have a right as a civilian arrest. But you guys don't have that strength. Not the courage to go say, hey, fuck this. Like, I know I'm right. I know, or even study up on your law so you can know what you can do. No, you don't do that. You're lazy. You want things to be done for you. You want to be told things. You want to be scared in your house. You want to watch your NBC or whatever the fucking shit, your Dateline. You're Making a Murderer. You want to see everything that's going to keep you frightful, scared in your house because you're too afraid to fight. You're too afraid to help the police officers. You're too afraid and ignorant to embrace those who are embodying what you are supposed to be, your shields and your swords. Why is everyone doing the fighting for you? How do you expect them to understand each other? How do you expect people in ghettos who, when you live in suburban areas or you've been middle class and these are lower class people, really, really low class people who actually live in the ghettos, but you get the propaganda and you're told, oh man, they just give each other drugs and kill each other and rape each other and they're just animals, they're barbaric, they're lower than me, I could never be there. Well, the truth is they're human beings, and because circumstances and people with a lot more money and a lot more power have tried to set them up in positions of failure. Now, if you don't think people are easily influenced, or the fact that the ghettos have remained the ghettos for this long due to the fact that there's a systematic approach to keeping those people down, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Go look into a ghetto and realize that there's no real black-owned businesses. There's some Hispanic businesses, some here and there. They're smarter people, I'll say that. I would definitely agree with that one. There's some Asian businesses. There's no black businesses. So when they loot and they riot, they're not destroying their shit. They're destroying someone else's shit. Because what they are saying is, we don't want you here anymore. Stop taking the money from us. Stop taking the money from our community. It's not the same in a suburb where you'll get, Walmarts, Targets, all that, you know what I mean? You'll get all those big stores. White-owned stores, even. Some mom and pop shops. You have a better chance of finding a white-owned mom and pop shop, in a suburban area or an area which is predominantly white, than you would seeing, quote-unquote, a Negro American in their habitat having a flourishment of, expenses in their economy. It's not the same. So when you have these people who are seeing that there is no chance for them to really grow, if they're not killing each other, the cops are killing them. That's how they feel. That's what they see. That's what they know. They know that the government officials aren't going to do anything for them. But no, we want to judge. Because not only can we not understand what the fuck they're going through, but we're given propaganda to make them think that they're the ones who are doing it. And yes, they have a choice. They do have a choice. And this is what they failed. This is what any of us who've lived in the ghetto have failed to do. Failed to realize we had a choice to be better or different than what was expected from us or what was placed in front of us for us to be the archetype of failure. We decided to be successful. Those who got out and those who made something of ourselves. We had the choice to not be like them. We all have the choice. It's the same way as when we have people in the suburbs who, or the suburbias or the predominantly white areas where they sell drugs and they're Caucasian or they're a fairer skin tone, so they're accepted better than the black person would who was pitching you a dime bag, you know. A lot less fearful, right? Because he relates to you. He's still doing the same bad shit, but you justify it a little bit more because, hey, he drives a BMW or he drives a nice car. His hair is done up right. He dresses well. And his voice is a little familiar to you. But we don't understand how people can be divided right now. We don't understand how people can feel like they can't trust the police when all along they've been told not to. NWA made music that was supposed to be a cautionary tale, not gangster rap glorifying the shit that they did, even though they really didn't help that case, to be honest. What started out as telling their lives was turned into and spun into something that was, well, a great catalyst in the downfall of the civilization we're facing now. But I need you guys to realize something. If we don't unify as a human race, first as an American race, care about our country, our flag, what symbolizes us. Because no matter what or where you go, when they hear you speak, when they see how you dress and how you act, they're going to know you're American. And it don't matter that you burned your flag down or you have some self-loathing in you. You have to come together. Stop thinking so small-mindedly. Stop. And it's funny because you guys post memes that are racially induced, but don't even know how to really identify with other races so that you could laugh together. And then you wonder why someone thinks you're racist, but no, you're not. You're definitely not. But you do think they're lower. You do think they're inferior. Let me tell you something. We're either all fucking aliens or we're all from the same fucking tree. Get the analogy. Don't be stupid. You cannot have a prolonged life with hate. Karma exists. Life's a bitch. And as long as we keep treating life in this foul manner by not loving each other, not making sure our police officers who are there to protect us, no matter if or how they fail, some of them are crooked, yeah, it happens. There's poison in every bunch. But until we are able to stand up with them and unify and say, hey, we know you're not the enemy. We are not your enemy any longer. And then turn around and look at ourselves and start changing our own communities and the cultures that we are breeding for our youth to see. We will never be able to understand each other. We will never be able to coexist. Now, I want to thank two of my listeners, or two of my actual very close friends, Don Javier on my Facebook, and then Tani Ruiz on my Facebook as well, for giving me the topic and actually inspiring me to do the podcast on this show. If you ever feel like you'd like to suggest something, you definitely can. I am always taking suggestions. We do have a website up, thedarkroast.weebly. That's weebly.com. new website. Check out the material. Keep coming back every week. And actually, like I said, for the most part, I'm going to have new material every day. 2 a day I'm trying to do, unless something comes up. But I want to thank you guys very much for listening in. You've been listening to The Dark Roast with Kai Dorsey. It's time to wake the fuck up.